All right, friends, today for writing, we are going to be writing something called concrete poems. These are very fun poems. They do not follow any rules, so you can have it rhyme. It doesn't have to rhyme, but there are a few things that you have to remember when writing concrete poems. First of all, concrete poems are also called shape poems, and it is written to represent the object that you describe. Okay, the poem can be written in the shape of an object. Okay, and we are going to be using a type of figurative language today called similes. So as you see, here's two examples. This poem is written in the shape of a rainbow, and the words of the poem describe a rainbow. This poem right here is in the shape of a whale, and the words of the poem describe a whale. Now, your words to describe a shape can be just different words and phrases, or they can tell a story. Okay? We're going to learn a little bit more, and you're going to see more examples in a few slides. But something that you need to do for this poem is you need to include a simile. So, similes are a comparison, and that's when you compare two unlike things using the words like or as. Okay, so here's a poster that describes what a simile is, and you have some examples. So a simile is comparing two things that are not alike, and they're using the words like or as. So I'm sure you may have heard the phrase as sweet as pie, okay, or she is as sweet as pie. She and pie, they are two different things, and they use the word as to describe them. She is as sweet as pie. Or maybe you used or heard of a phrase or described something like, oh, that painting is colorful like crayons. Well, paintings and crayons are two different things, and they are using the word like to compare those. Here's another example. Playful as a kitten. Being playful and a kitten are not the same things, but you are comparing one using as. If you have a dog or a pet like mine, we might have said something like, my dog is as smelly as dirty socks. Well, your dog and your socks are not the same, but you're comparing your dog, saying that they are smelly as socks. Okay? Another example, if you describe someone who's really tall, you might say they are as tall as a giraffe. The person who's tall is not a giraffe, but you're comparing them, saying they're as tall as a giraffe. On the next slide, you are going to create two similes comparing unlike things using like or as. Okay, so here you're going to create your own. So the directions say, create a simile describing yourself. So you have to describe yourself with a simile. Highlight either like or as, whichever one you chose to use. So here's my example. Mrs. DeGracie is as quiet as a mouse. Okay, me and a mouse are not the same, but I'm comparing myself and a mouse using like or as, and I chose to use as. So I said Mrs. DeGracie is as quiet as a mouse. So for simile 1, you are going to use a simile to describe yourself. Okay, so think of yourself, and how would you describe yourself to something else that's like you? Okay, so I'll give you another example. Tom is as loud as a train. Tom and a train are not the same things, but I'm comparing him to the loudness of a train. And I said Tom is as loud as a train. I use the word as. So for a simile 1, you have to describe yourself using a simile. Then you're going to do simile 2. You're going to create another simile of your own. You can compare whatever you want. So I said the marshmallow is like a cloud floating in the sky or floating across the sky. A marshmallow and a cloud are not the same, but I'm comparing them. This time I use the word like. So for simile 2, you have to create a simile of your own example that you haven't seen or heard. And again, highlight whether you use like or as. Simile 1, you're describing yourself using a simile or comparing yourself. Simile 2, you are doing anything you want. Okay? All right. Back to our concrete poems, because today you're going to use a simile while creating a concrete poem. So you're going to watch this video. Okay, it's going to explain what concrete or shape poems are. Okay, you're going to click the video, click this picture, and it will take you to the video to watch. What you need to take away from the video, and I'm not even having you figure it out, I'm telling you. The words in your poem must represent your picture. So if you decide to write a concrete poem about clouds, the words of your poem better be about clouds. If you're talking about baseball or unicorns or walking your dog, that has nothing to do with clouds. But make sure you watch that video. All right, second to last slide. So, you're going to look at some examples. Here are some examples of fourth graders, or from fourth graders. If you click on this picture, it will take you to a link of actual poems written by fourth graders. Concrete poems written by fourth graders. You're going to notice that they've drawn their poems on a piece of paper. This is how you should create your poems. However, I always say I don't grade you on your artistic ability, but the effort you put into it. If you don't feel comfortable, let's say you want to do a poem about a unicorn, and you're just like, I have no idea how to draw a unicorn. I can't draw a unicorn. Well, you can print off a picture of a unicorn, glue it on a sheet of paper, and write the words around your unicorn. Kind of like this ice cream example. Someone printed off a picture of an ice cream scoop and a cone and wrote their words describing ice cream around it. You can do that yourself. However, if you cannot print, you have to draw it. Okay? So, please choose something that you enjoy. All right? If you enjoy basketball, draw basketball. If you enjoy dance, print out a figure of someone dancing. Okay? Or a picture of you dancing. All right? What I don't want you to do is just draw a circle, a square, and describe that. It should be a picture of something like the students that drew different pictures. It should be something that you enjoy. Now, I have explained these directions. If you do not follow the directions of this video and all of the slides, and you insert a poem that did not follow the expectations, you will be required to redo it. So it's going to be a good idea for you to read the slides, watch all the videos, read the slides again, maybe watch the videos again, so you do your poem correctly. Then on slide 18, this is where you are going to insert your picture of your concrete poem. So it says you need to take a selfie of your concrete poem and post it on the slide. You will be required to write one concrete poem. If you want to write more and insert more, go ahead. But your poem and any poem you include must have at least one simile. If you do not have a simile, I'm sure you can guess what you will have to do. You will have to redo your whole poem and reinsert that picture. Now, if you notice on the examples, you will notice that the majority of the poems are colorful. Your poem needs to be drawn nicely, neatly, and colored. If they are not, you will have to redo them. So please do not do any work before watching all the videos and following the expectations. But concrete poems are supposed to be fun, they're supposed to be colorful, and I can't wait to see all of your concrete poem or shape poems that you post. Have fun!